hero of my cape. Independent leader made a way. I'm the people's voice, hip hip parade. Stuck to my pace, the turtle win the race. There's trophies on trophies, views from the townscape. Change is great, break, then I had to skate. God told me time to go elevate. Chosen child, I'm the champ now, not a featherweight. Man, I'm so blessed, I just meditate. Peace of mind, that's what you get when you...
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Spot. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Tiara.
And I'm Ron.
Look who's back.
I'm back. I'm here. I'm happy to be back. First of all, I've missed you guys so much. And, I'm trying to get into a routine of, this mommy thing going on. So it's good that I can kind of break away for a second to come back and chat with y'all because I've missed it.
Oh, they missed you too. People have been asking about you and hoping that you and the baby are well. So I know this is going to be a treat for them to see you.
Yes.
We didn't want to put too much pressure on you. So we're going to ease you back, give you a soft landing for this recap of BMF 303 Sanctuary.
And we missed you too, by the way. So,
Yeah,
I missed y'all. I've been watching what you've been had going on while I was away. And I'm like, all the interviews, the little outings that you got to go to, the BMF screening. I was like, I feel like I'm having a little FOMO.
Well, there'll be more. The crew will be back together again on the red carpet.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm excited to talk about BMF today. I've been keeping up with the show, and it's off to a good start this season.
Yeah, I think so too. Happy to see the way it's going. You probably saw in the previous interviews and stuff that Heather is like the interim showrunner, and that Randy's taking a step back just for a second to deal with his health and everything. But it's going well. Going well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, guys, we got to get the housekeeping out the way. Please like and subscribe. Push us out far and wide to your friends. Tell a friend, and we can get into this recap with Tiara back. Ron.
All right.
So as it opened up, we saw that it opened up with Meech and Charles talking about music. Meech is playing the drums. They share a love of music. And, the whole purpose of that whole scene was talking about how music was a sanctuary for them, which, I think I said to Ron in a few episodes ago about sanctuary, about that music thing. Now that T sold that record store, got rid of it, that's going to be a problem for Meech and his dad. I can already see that because music is such a huge part of
their relationship.
Yeah.
No. I understand. I see where you're headed with that. But in this episode, Charles has been kind of into it, and we'll get into it later in terms of what Meech was able to purchase. But I can see Charles' hand going into that.
What, into music?
Into the house. To build a studio.
I'm talking about the fact that he sold the record store.
The music.
Right, but I can see Charles. I can see Charles building a studio in that house. You remember that's?
I can too.
Yeah,
but my point is the love of music that Meech and Charles share is going to be a problem when they find out that T got rid of the record store because of what music means to them, and that was my point.
Yeah, and you can kind of see that there's like a duality too, because you got Terry still in Detroit doing his own thing, trying to establish himself as the boss. And then you have Meech doing the same thing down in Atlanta, trying to establish himself as a boss and whatnot. And they're both kind of making moves independent of one another. And so to your point, like Terry doing stuff without Meech's knowledge might be an issue later. Who knows?
It's going to be an issue.
So we'll see.
And we talked about this too, T.
Oh, go ahead, T.
I was saying we talked about this too, T. The way their styles, like how Meech is kind of like, he has to give a gab and he finesses and stuff. And he like he said, I take care of my people. T is like, lay down and get down. He's very abrasive. And we saw that in this episode too, in several instances, when the team, I'm skipping around right now, when the team revolted on him, was about to bounce. And then, at the end, the conversation with Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, it's plain that Terry doesn't have management skills. He just doesn't. He lacks those completely. And what I love about Meech is not only does he have management skills, but he has that, as you said, gift for gab. So he can talk his way in and out of almost anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, he has recognized how, we've been saying it in several recaps, how to get bees with honey. He knows that you take care of people, they'll look out for you.
That's right.
Yeah.
What did you say? He sold his Rolexes so he can
sold the Rolex, pawned it, and got the money. And was, he's new to Atlanta. He doesn't even know these guys all that well, but he's taking care of his crew.
That's
When
right.
you got the crew looking sideways at Stacks, because they like, you ain't never sold nothing for us.
There you go.
We've been down with you all these years and you ain't did nothing like that. So it just goes to show, like you said, you get more bees with honey.
Mm-hmm.
So Meech's style is definitely, no, I was just gonna say his style of management is much more desirable and I think attractive to the crew.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And you brought up Stacks, and we saw in the very beginning of the episode that Meech went over to the house to see Stacks, and Stacks was getting robbed. But Ron and I talked about this. We don't trust Stacks.
I don't either.
I think Stacks staged that robbery. I don't know. I don't trust him. So that's how they got to the point of Meech having to sell the Rolexes in the first place, because now they were short because their money got hit up in the stash house.
Well, no, I was just mentioning too, going back to their styles of management. Terry, on the other hand, he was getting called a penny pincher. They was, like you said, they was ready to abandon him too. And they're like, we were Meech's guys, but we were going to ride with you because we love him. But if you're going to be treating us like this and being all intolerant, then we out.
Yeah, because he was docking them pay too. He was being rigid. That's what they said. So you're really rigid. You're docking our pay. And stuff. And, they said, we about to go get down with Henry, which is, so that's crazy, because not only is she crazy, but her stuff is not even pure. You heard T and them talking about it, saying that her stuff, she charging $28 a key, but it's not even pure. It's not even like that. So that says a lot that they willing to go get down with a crew that's pushing mediocre weight to get away from T.
Exactly.
And that says a lot too. I mean,
yeah,
that speaks volumes. I mean,
yeah, because most people are concerned about their rep. Like they're like, I want to get down with a crew that's pushing pure weight, this, that, and the other. They were like, look, we'd rather go deal with this chick, pushing mediocre stuff than deal with your foolishness.
Yeah. The convention, the music convention, Jack the Rapper, sorry. And how they were going to go there and basically try to recruit and find more manpower. And they were like, oh, that's a good idea, actually. But, Stacks, he's not bringing anything to the table besides complaints and, being bloodthirsty for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was supposed to have the connects. But now that, Meech then found Loco, now that Loco's in the picture and stuff, Cino's crew, they don't really, like Duffy said, they don't really need Stacks no more. So but after that situation happened with the stash house getting hit and Meech goes to the palace, he confronted Angel like, you set me up, right? It looks like you set me up. And of course she's like, I don't have nothing to do with that.
Right. And it seemed a little logical because like he was talking to her about getting information and whatnot. And she, like, a lot of people go to those strip clubs and just like he over there, he's squeezing her for information. Who's to say somebody else didn't squeeze her for information? She gave up, Meech's information. So I see why his mind went there. And strippers have a reputation, some of them, for being shiesty.
It's all about that. It's all about that money. It's all about that green.
Yeah.
So if she can, if somebody's going to offer it, she's going to take it. But I like you, But it's funny though, how Meech used to get on T about Markeisha, but it seems like Meech might be falling into the same type of trap. So, I mean, it may be a little different, of course, because I don't see Markeisha being the same as Angel in terms of how she acts, but we still don't know. I don't know how much credence I give Angel right now because she still has Greenie Green to deal with.
Well, they say women are the kryptonite. So Tim, you say it every time.
Every time.
They're the weakness. So
every time. Every
and
time.
plus, we saw by the end of this episode what happened to Greenie and stuff. It was revealed, because when we got to Jack the Rapper, but which Charles, that was funny. Charles popped up at Jack the Rapper and stuff. Despite
he thought it was gonna be something else.
Yeah, he thought it would be a family affair.
Yeah, it's funny though. I mean, it was so funny. And you know what? I hate to say this, but I felt a little certain kind of way for Charles. I could understand wanting to be there, but then you're around all these youngsters and it just ain't the same. It's not what you thought it might be. But
yeah, he's sitting up there trying to get Clark sisters autographs.
Right.
Yeah. And you can see that joint was a rap convention, but it was looking like Freaknik. I mean,
Yeah, probably a little bit of both, but I can say he held it down though, he did.
He did. I mean, and I can understand him wanting to go, his love of music, and he said that he's always wanted to go, but the funds wouldn't permit. And so,
right,
when we got to the spot, the Jack the Rapper, even Pop made an appearance, which is interesting too, because I researched that online and it said that Tupac did go to Jack the Rapper in 1993.
Right.
So he really did make an appearance there. But during that idea to go to Jack the Rapper, it was their idea to meet with the folks and try to build their crew, because Meech is trying to expand. He met some folks that Greenie referred to him from St. Louis, and they were making a pitch to Meech to come down there, and he was like, I can't commit right now until I come down.
Vet the situation.
Check the situation out first. And so Charles, while he's there trying to check out Family Affair, Glock rolls up on him. He doesn't know it's Glock.
Right.
That's the thing.
I thought that was hilarious because Charles he doesn't understand the world that Meech is in. And so just being in that environment, and Meech is trying to tell him, like, you need to leave. Like, I'm telling you this for a reason. And it just is not clicking with him. He's thinking, I'm a grown man, like, let me live. But it was like, it's really a dangerous situation because the event is not what it used to be. And it's just not getting through to his head.
But help me out. What do you think Glock wanted with Charles? I mean, I heard, I understand.
He wanted to end with Meech.
You think that's what? I mean,
I think
I guess that makes sense after Meech and Charles, after he approached both Meech and Charles.
It was his father. Like,
I didn't
approach him because he knew he was his dad.
But I'm saying is there was nothing to indicate to me that Glock knew that prior to that meet. So
just because he probably was peeping game and stuff.
He approached all over.
All those people there, he probably was peeping game and everything. But he knew that he was Meech's dad. That's the only reason why he started talking to him and stuff and everything, because he was trying to he was trying to see what was up and stuff, and probably even have some type of leverage, because first of all, they're dangerous. And I think with any like drug dealer or whatever and stuff, for them to know who your people are is a dangerous situation. And so for him, and that's why Meech didn't want him there. Like, Meech tried to hide the poster. He tried to hide the flyers. He was like, he said, go see his flyers so Pops don't show up. Pop showed up anyway. And stuff.
Memorize that flyer.
Then he tried to get his boys to get Pops to walk away. He was like, get off me. I'm grown. Leave me alone. And then, it came to a head. If it wasn't for a young sis, and I forgot her name, Mo's little cousin.
Yeah.
PT. I think her name. I think he called her TT.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for TT recognizing the necklace and saying, "Okay, that's a Miami killer," and then Meech recognizing Glock's right hand, he was like, "Oh, okay, this is him. You know, this is Glock and stuff." And it made me think about, the audience hasn't seen it yet. It's coming. The interview that we had with Glock, and not gonna tell too much because that interview is still to come. But he pretty much told us why he felt the way he did about Meech coming to his city. So you guys,
in fact, he said that to Meech, which is what I had thought. It's fine to be a good manager, take care of your people, but when you go to another city altogether that's already up and running, and you present yourself like that, it's going to be hard. And and in most instances, you don't live out, you don't survive in a situation like that because you got so many people against you. So whatever Meech is, whatever he's got going, he's doing it right. But I don't know. That's a touch and go because you got people from the north, south, east, and west of that city trying to get next to you. So I don't know.
But that's why initially, in the first episode, Meech was trying to have a conversation with him. He did try to tap in first.
Yeah,
and I think he even said as much in the episode. It's like one of those voiceovers where he was saying, like I tried to come to Atlanta and be peaceable, but they do things different down here.
That's
and
right.
I think he was saying, my method of trying to be, all for one for all, is not really having this effect up down here like it was in Detroit. Because like you said, it's already established and people now feel like you stepping on their toes, which is why they had the issue with Remy anyway.
In actuality, he is, because if it goes the way Meech wants it to go, everybody be coming to him. I mean, he'll be kingpin in a sense. So, and Glock recognizes that, Glock ain't stupid.
And that's why I thought it was smart too that Meech decided when he was looking for property to go outside of the city a little bit, because he said, it's a little bit safer out here. And I think that he's very, I think he pays attention to everything that's going on. Even though it's a new city for him, he's like, okay, like some of this stuff ain't coincidence. I'm getting robbed. I'm going to this convention and, these Miami killers are here. What's the common denominator?
There's a couple of common denominators. Stacks, because he's shady. That robbery, I think that was staged.
Yeah.
I've been side-eyeing him since the beginning. And Greeny. And Glock said so. He was like, when somebody said, when Meech's guy said, "Oh, we need more security up in here," Glock was like, "Oh, I own security." And he said, and I own the pimp that cleans your money. So that let him know right there that, like, okay, he's the one. He thinking Angel. He's the one that sold me out.
And that's why Rodney got what he got.
Okay. Yeah.
So Greeny deserved that. I think the Who Can Get the Hands list. He definitely goes on it.
Greeny,
and
sure.
I'm putting Stacks on there in advance because, like you said, I think he's shady.
I did too last week. I put him on. I said he's warm. He keeping the seat warm.
Yeah, I put him on permanent hands. It's because whatever he does is not Stacks. That is, whatever Stacks does, it's not right. So it's going to be interesting. And even during our interview, one of the things I brought up in that sense was with Meech is you're going to have a big time trouble with the Stacks because your style of management are entirely two different styles, as well as Stacks has a lot to lose, and he's not going to let you come up and just take over. However, what we saw in this episode, Stacks might want to step back a bit because his crew is following Meech. So what's he going to do if he loses his whole crew?
And that's the thing, because first of all, Stacks is jealous of Meech. Let's just say that. And then number two, the number two thing is he's upset that Meech's number one priority isn't getting revenge for Ty's death.
Right.
And so that's the other thing that's kind of like driving him away. And it's like there's a time and a place for everything. And that's what Meech is trying to show him. Like, the way he wants to get revenge is going to land them in jail. If you do it my way and you fall back a little bit and we kind of work the plan, everything will fall into place in the end. But trust me, like, I want to avenge Ty's death too, but just not the way you doing it, because we all gonna get busted.
Right.
Doesn't that remind you of Snowfall? Because that was the same thing with Saint and Kevin, because Kevin wanted to avenge his cousin. And Frank and Saint was like, we gotta wait. There's a way to do this. He's trying to focus on business, and it ended up, falling apart.
Yep.
But I wanted to ask you guys too, about the property that Meech got, because initially he asked Charles to sign for it, and Charles was like, I don't want to falsify documents and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But then by the end, Charles came around and he decided that he was going to sign for the property for Meech. So what do you think made him change his mind?
I think I think Charles changed his mind after he got that lick in the convention. I mean, because that right there told me a lot, and I said, okay, Charles, okay.
I was like, go Charles.
Go Charles.
Charles did his thing too. It was a whole melee. And everybody stood on business, including Charles.
Right. And so I think what we see here with Charles is Charles always wanted a home like that. And you do remember the conversation he had with Meech, that he respected Meech's game, how hard he's putting in to get the things he wants. And of course, that's what he wanted for his family. And I could see a little jealousy or resentment, if you will. And he was right to question it, because false pay stubs and things like that, it's a wonder that he didn't go to jail. But the point is, I could see his wheels turning. The house is paid for. The house is okay. The house is paid for, and I'm almost certain he's looking at the foundation and seeing how sturdy it is. I know he wants to build a studio in that place.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought he changed his mind too after the fight, because Meech said, do you see why I need a place so I can be safe? And I think he thought about that. I think all the things that Ron said, of course, the studio and all that, but I think it was more so about Meech's safety. Like, I think when he saw that they were just at a rap convention, a music convention, and then hell broke loose. So I think he thought, like, okay, I've seen firsthand. And then just last week, Loco and them came to the door and stuff. So he probably was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and sign for this so he can get this place. And so Meech said he wanted a place with a gated community. So I'm assuming that house is in a gated community and nestled away somewhere where he can be safe.
That's true. Yeah, I thought that was interesting, because I was like, I wonder if Charles got any plans to return to Atlanta. And that's why he, maybe said, let's go ahead and get this property now.
Well,
but I mean, we'll see. It looked like Charles had him a good old time down in the A.
It did look like he had a good time.
He did. And if they do get the divorce, once the divorce is final, nothing really is keeping Charles in Detroit.
No, I was thinking the same thing. Like, they're getting divorced. Lucille is entertaining, Dr. Feelgood.
Dr. Feelgood.
That's what I call Dr. Feelgood.
And Dr.
I thought it was funny how the church lady up there encouraging her to step out her marriage
is her cousin,
because she's still married.
She is still married.
But you know what? She, in her mind, she already stepped out. So,
she filed the papers already, because we saw last week that Team said she's not playing. She already filed the paperwork.
Oh, we know she's serious, but she's still legally married.
But she's still legally married. You're absolutely
and I'm
right.
like, if you going by the church and the Bible or whatever, then you can't do that, sis.
You can't do that. You gotta wait till you're done.
In fact, the good book says if you thought about it, it's the same as the physical action of it.
Yeah.
And we know what she was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, and I think she was trying to, but she, she had the devil on her shoulder with her cousin telling her, like, get on out and all this other stuff. So
and it didn't help that he out here writing checks.
Writing big checks too.
Yes.
I couldn't see it. Was that $1,000 check or was it?
That was 10,000.
That's what I thought.
It said 10,000.
That's what that's when I saw it. I had to look again, and it looked more like 10. I gotta get my eyes checked, y'all. But I'm like, is that a $10,000 check?
Yeah.
That'll have any woman turning.
Oh, well, think about that. We talked about this last week too, T. She working at Wendy's, and they've been struggling and stuff. And then here you go, and then you find out that this man never got over you.
Yep.
Never got over you. That you basically Charles stole you away from him and everything. And you see how he turns out, and he still wants you.
Mm-hmm.
That's temptation.
If it ain't kryptonite, I don't know what that is. I guess kryptonite don't work on women, but I don't know what you call it, the ones that work on women. But it's working on her.
She still has needs because you can see that she's struggling even with the situation with Charles. Because Charles is lifting weights and he walking around with no shirt on, and Charles has a beautiful physique and stuff. So you can see that she's struggling. Like,
oh yeah,
she's struggling. She still have needs, but she's trying to stay, focus on moving forward.
I just want to see how long that focus lasts because he's pouring it on thick.
Oh, Dr.
Maurice, he's got that thick thing, man.
That's going to be tough.
That's going to be real.
But I was like, imagine coming back from out of town and finding that big check from Dr. Feelgood in the purse.
Woo.
I was like, if I was Charles, I would be crushed.
I think he was.
I started to say, you saw him sit back in his chair like that, and he thought about it. He realized who he is, and he thought about it. He's like, wait a minute, they hooked up, and she's got this $10,000 check. Or he knows it's over for him.
Yeah, and he knows why he's giving that type of money. He knows he ain't just doing it out of the kind of his heart. I mean, he's doing it because of Lucille. Exactly. I mean, of course he wants to help. I'm sure he wants to help, but
no, I'm sure he wants.
But
he wants
is doing it because of Lucille.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thinking about the situations within the family with the infidelity, with Terry, because you brought Markeisha up earlier, and I was proud of Terry this episode because he shut Markeisha down, but I was like, it's only a matter of time before he go running back. But she was calling, trying to tempt him and whatnot, and he had a little moment of strength where he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, he did, but that's why I said I had an issue with Markeisha. I know Ron has an issue with her. He had all the smoke these past few episodes.
I got two more. I got two more from this. This episode.
I'm with you, because basically she's doing just what I said in the other recap. She's being like a yo-yo with Terry. She put him out the house. His house, as he said, he bought that house. She told him that she didn't want to live together with him.
Alone.
Yeah, but now she's like, call him over. My kids are gone. She don't have panties on. Like you playing games. You playing games. All this back and forth.
Let's make it plain. Okay. T comes up without calling, goes into his house, and Markeisha go, what you doing popping up in my house? Oh,
right.
No.
Yeah.
Okay,
she got some nerve.
I mean,
I thought so too. I was like,
okay, that's the time. Yeah, that's the time to go. Okay, and then number two, she goes to his apartment and she brings that little fake flower thing. I'm like, okay.
Well, that was an inside joke because he gave that.
Forget my inside joke. Look, if you could look, I just sweetened the pot for you, bought you a whole big old house, and you gonna come with that little thing. You could have brought that and something else nicer to fit my apartment. No, baby. See, I got nothing nice to say about that woman. Nothing.
Yeah, she is.
Markeisha is definitely,
You see nobody else does either.
I say, I don't know about y'all, but she's on mine who can get the hands.
Oh, she's on mine too. She's on mine too. And you see that LaWanda doesn't have any good words to say about her either, because she was the first one she suspected when CPS came to the house. She was like, but this time it wasn't Markeisha. It wasn't Markeisha because we know what events led to that. Because basically, the situation with Henry, when T backed out of that deal,
right,
that put T on the doo-doo list. She had issues with Henry. And so basically Bryant was working with Henry and told Henry that, there's ways to get the weight out of, out of town without being stopped. Told him about the ambulance deal. Now, when the guys decided to revolt, one of the guys, T, said, listen, I don't want to put you on and stuff. And he got him to stay, but he also told dude to make sure that he told him everything that was going on with Henry. And the plan, he was the one that put him on the game about the ambulance. And that went a mess. It went awry.
But that was a good plan, though. That was a good plan. I mean,
it was a good plan. It's just that T and them got hip to it and was able to.
Yeah.
And then the cops was following them too. Jen and the partner, they came. So I guess everybody was on to the plan because they showed up. I don't recall about her real name. Henry's cousin Twan got killed, and he got Hoop and them shot him first, but Bryant finished him off because Twan was trying to kill Jen. Jen got shot in the process. And stuff. And so after that,
and Cuts got, he got picked up. So So now, where does that lead? Because I don't know if he's a singer or not, but Cage Birds will
Sterl said Cuts is
loyal.
It's solid. He's loyal. So Cuts ain't gonna say nothing. But
we hope
that whole situation, this is going to add to all the anger that Henry has against T. Like T already strike one, he backed out of the deal. Strike two, her cousin got killed because they ambushed her thing. And you saw that when she found out that her cousin got killed, she asked Bryant, sit down and tell me everything you know about T. And then in the very next scene, the CPS was coming to the house. I was like,
that's Henry all of
It's Henry, because Henry's father is the one that's the ex-cop and has the political ties and stuff. So I was like, Henry did that and got T hemmed up.
Yeah, and that's the low blow. Like, you don't go after people's kids. That's below the belt, in my opinion. But I do understand. So I understand her cousin got killed, but man, you going after the kids? Yeah,
I guess he feel like family. Like you mess with my family, I'm gonna mess with yours.
She started the whole mess in the first place because she was trying to freeze T, wanted to charge him more money for that mess that she was selling, and then instead of doing the job right then and there, she put a little hold on it, which gave T the opportunity and Meech the opportunity to get another contact, in which they did, and T did the right thing.
T should have told him he would come back. He told her when he negotiated the deal, he said done. And he really should have, maybe not committed to her. Committed to her first. And he did. So then he came back and said, oh, we're not actually going to wait from you. And you heard
she said something to him first about a deal. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, she did. She said 28 a key. And she said, and I'll throw in,
some weed.
The weed, each one. But he said done. Yeah. His response to her was done.
But remember, he said top shelf. But remember, he said top shelf don't come with orange juice.
Right. So, he said that, but at the end, he accepted her terms.
I think he accepted the 28.
He did. Yeah. He said done. So she thought they had a deal. So when he came back, he came to her office and was like, yeah, we ain't gonna wait from y'all. And then he picked up the cigar on her desk and was like, yeah, y'all clients gonna be coming for me. Like
he talked trash.
That right there was more. I mean, that's just like, spitting in somebody's face. Then you're gonna take her. Nah, you don't.
Yeah, he did. He showed out in her office.
He did. He showed
out. So that was the first thing of disrespect. Then the second thing was that he ambushed her hit. I mean, their move, and her cousin got killed. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I agree with you. Kids are off limits, but I think she said, my family is gone.
Right. Yeah, I get her frustration. I do, but I was like, dang, she ain't playing either.
You heard Lawanda. Lawanda said, this got Marquisa all over it.
Yeah.
So, and then
Kind
we
of
told
wanted to be Mark. I kind of wanted it to be Marquisha too, so that LaWanda could
LaWanda.
take care of business. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah.
Mhm.
LaWanda pregnant though, so she gotta wait till
I
she
got a
drop.
funny feeling she could still beat it down.
Oh yeah, I think there's gonna come a moment, come to Jesus
Mhm.
moment, whatever. But T, he went over there and confronted her like and she was just like, I would never do anything like that. And I would only lift you up and I love you, blah, blah, blah. And so that's how she got over there to the bachelor's pad. And you see how Mama looked. Mama Lucia,
Yeah.
when she came over there, she is not seeing it for Marquisha
Mm-mm.
at all. She's
Mm-mm.
like, I need to talk to my son. And the look on her face was like,
And what she
Yeah.
said about dropping that cougar,
Right.
I can't even repeat what she said, but
she said, you need to get your head out, because you got CPS at your door. You got bigger problems. And
got
T
bigger
was like,
problems.
listen, that's why I'm trying to get this place decorated because, so CPS can see that he has a good home
But
and
it
all
is,
of that.
but it's interesting that you will put your family into an apartment, but you're going to put your side piece into a home.
Well, it's a bachelor
Yeah.
pad, so he was only giving him himself.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, I guarantee you his family is going to be up in there. So I just thought,
Oh, well, we said that. We
Yeah.
said that a week ago that he treats Marquisha different than he does with LaWanda.
Mhm.
Which is why I kept giving T the hands the past couple episodes because of the way he was acting with the team, being abrasive and stuff, because he carried that attitude even at the end we saw with Bryant, when he went to go visit Kevin comes out, Kevin been beat up and in juvie and stuff, and when he comes out, T's waiting on him.
Yeah, I was like, that's bad timing to ask somebody to switch sides for you.
I don't know though. I understood that move. That in fact, out of all the moves T's ever made, I thought that one had more potential. Let me put it that way, because we got two factors going on. We got Bryant out of a job, needs work, needs money, and his son, as he sees, his son is hurt, so he's been beaten up. So, he needs it. He needs it quick. Now, sometimes, people are able to put aside their differences and work together. In this case, we know that's not going to happen because Bryant just has it's just his this venomous attitude about T and Meech. But out of all the moves that T could make, I thought that was probably the more practical one, if you might say, because I actually thought Brian might take it, but he didn't.
Well, Sterl suggested it. It was actually Sterl's idea because when they talked about when the other soldier came back and said Henry was going to make that move, and Hoop said that Bryant was running with him, Brian was flying Henry colors and stuff. Sterl was like, that's actually a good move to have someone on both sides. So he put that in Terry's head. Yeah. So, but even then, Terry was abrasive in his approach because he was just like, the world is my oyster, and so you can either get on my side or get rolled the F over. And what did Brian say? He said, well, I choose to get rolled the F over then.
And that was stupid. I mean,
he doesn't have the gift of gab.
No. Because Meech, and I think he figured that he could pick up where Meech left, because he was in season 1, he was on Meech's payroll.
Right.
Yeah. And apparently Bryant used to be coach, to Meech and stuff. So they did have a relationship and stuff. But with changing, remember guys, we interviewed Steve Harris before and stuff, but changes things that happened. His partner died. The stuff with J-Mo, he dropped the dude J-Mo off to him. J-Mo got killed. So all those things turned, and now he's really angry because his innocent son is in the Bing while Meech and them are out living their best life. And that's why he's not gonna flip sides with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So
you better do something, because Kevin, he is not used to that life, and he can't take too many beatdowns.
Yeah, especially not before it starts to change Kevin and who he is, because I felt really, really bad for Kevin when he had to get transferred from juvie and go to from the jail and go to the juvenile detention center, and then they took his drawing materials and all of that, and so it's like that in my mind was like symbolic of like taking his innocence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
So I'm like, he's about to be a whole different person by the time Brian gets.
And that's if he survives. That's if he survives.
Yes, that's where I'm thinking. I don't think he's gonna survive.
Yeah,
that's my prediction. I hope he does, but I think that something will end up happening to him. I think something's gonna end up happening to him.
And I think if it does, that sends Brian further down the villain path.
Yes.
Actually, I think that would be his demise, because if that were to happen, I think he'd come after T and Meech directly.
Exactly.
And he's not going to last through that. That'll be his demise, along with his son.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think with Terry, he needs to work on how he speaks to people. I don't know if he's aware of it, because I think he does it almost without even noticing. It seems like it's a part of his personality. And I think that somebody needs to bring it to his attention, like how his approach, especially if he's to be a boss and he's to maintain what he's already built up in Detroit. It's like, you got to know when there's a time and a place to, run your mouth. And there's a time when you need to kind of smooth things over and use your gift of gab to get what you want.
I just think it's, and I'm sure the fans out there who have bosses and supervisors, they get they get a little power and they just get stupid with it, and they don't know what, they mistreat people, don't know how to talk to people. And that's exactly where T is. He finally gets the power he'd been looking for, or at least kind of favored with Meech. And now he's just, smelling himself instead of being more cooperative. And as you all been saying, getting more bees with honey as opposed to using vinegar.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think Terry got to get it together. That's my overall thing. And so if we talk about the hands list, I think I'm going to go ahead and add Terry. Like y'all said, Terry just don't know when to shut his mouth or to season his words with salt and, come off a little bit more approachable.
I feel the same way. T and Markeisha. And we can do the hands list, because I'm looking at notes. It seems like we covered most things. The only thing we didn't talk about is the conversation between Jen and the
Kobe,
and the partner.
Kobe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she said that she had never been in a gun battle, but she had seen the light before because she had OD'd, and that's when you found out that she had a drug problem. And I think she and Jen are getting closer, because Jen is seeing that there's more that meets the eye with Kobe.
Yeah, she's not that naive person that Jen thought she might
be. Thought she was, charmed and elitist and had no street knowledge or whatever. And she was like, I used to cop weight from a guy that looks like that. So yeah, we see that.
Now, that kind of caught my attention too, because I was like, I don't know necessarily what the prerequisites are for becoming in law enforcement, but I'm pretty sure you shouldn't have a past drug problem. Right. But I think that the partner has some connects too.
Look, let me tell you something.
Oh, she does. Her family.
It's been a while ago now, but and somebody can correct me or affirm, but years and years ago in DC, they were hiring actually guys that have less than stellar, applications, because they were like, well, what's the best way to capture, a crook? Hire one.
They just want to know one, huh?
They just want to know one. So,
And who was the former mayor? I mean, we ain't gonna say no names, but
say no names, but that's right.
But former mayor DC that had so.
And
I happen to know one of those cops too, so I know it was true.
It happens. It happens.
I'm just saying it probably shouldn't, if you be talking about qualifications, but I guess that's the reality of the situation, is that it does happen.
It does happen.
Yeah. So that was, I think, the only other thing that we had missed and stuff. I mean, hadn't talked about. Do you guys have any predictions for the next episode?
I have a prediction with former Detective Brian. I think things are gonna go awry with him. It ain't looking good for him. So I think we can expect some less than stellar things coming his way.
My prediction is in regard to Stacks and Greenie, because I see Stacks, him deciding to break off from Meech and then having his partners kind of abandon him. I think that's going to leave him, in a sore spot where he's just like basically even madder than he initially was at Meech, because now Meech is still in his crew. But I say stealing in quotations because they really decided to go off with Meech. But I can see Stacks having like a really big issue with Meech going forward, just because like how I perceive him to be jealous of Meech, and I perceive him to be like, one of those revenge types. So I think that's going to be somebody that Meech will have to look out for. And I also think that Greenie is going to be, somebody else Meech got to watch because he got beat down.
Yep.
So
and he took his
somebody
girl.
better watch him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we haven't heard the end of the Angel situation. Like he Meech told Angel that she can stay with him, and that he's gonna protect her and stuff and know her worth and stuff, and that she'll be safe with him. I'm wondering if she's gonna be safe with him, because I can see Greenie being vengeful.
Yes.
Because remember he told her in the car, like, you ain't ish without me and stuff. And so and the fact that she left and everything after she said last episode how she came and he took her in and he was that supposed safe space. I would put nothing past him that he would do something to her. And even out of revenge to her, and also to get back at Meech.
And not only that, she said to Meech while in his home that she thought she needed to go back. And, Meech was pretty much saying, you need to know your net worth. And, but so I have a feeling that she's going to go back anyways, because she feels that if she doesn't, something will happen. But little does she know, if you do, most definitely something will happen.
Yeah, I think something might happen to her.
Yeah, so those are the two things I see happening. Just because I know how that male ego works.
For sure.
Hey.
For sure.
Yeah, you lose your woman and you get beat down. Oh no, can't take it.
Beat down, losing money too, because Meech said, I'm cutting your water off.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like, that's a trilogy. He was like, he's like, you're not cleaning my money no more. So all the way around.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Girl, you got beat down and he cut your water off. So it's a wrap with Greenie. So he has a reason to be salty, and I can see him trying to be, trying to do something, especially since he has ties to Glock, and Glock is an op.
Yep.
Stacks is an op, Greenie's an op. So Meech got problems, T got problems because Henry and Brian are on his case too. So I think we said T and Markeisha are on the hands list, and I guess Greenie too. Greenie and Stacks. What about the game ball?
Game ball.
That's a tough one.
Meech.
I mean,
let's see.
He's been at Meech every week.
Oh, you know what? I gotta give it to Charles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Charles.
Yeah.
Charles came through.
Charles did come through.
Yeah, when that fight, Charles came through.
Yep, he stood on business.
The dotted line, Charles came through. So I got to give it to Charles, even though it may be a little crooked line, but I'll take that line.
But anyway, so I guess that's it. As far as the hands list, we talked about our predictions, the game ball. So I think we're done, guys.
Looks like it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good episode. It's definitely setting us up for some fire that's gonna come this season. I'm looking forward to seeing what goes down. I'm really interested in seeing, if everything works out in Atlanta. I mean, based on historical facts, we know that things work out in Atlanta, but it's really cool kind of seeing things, how they kind of progress, and all of the stuff that happened along the way, you know, on his rise down there in Atlanta. And I think it's really cool too how they kind of simultaneously got both cities on lock. Like that is unheard of for as long as they did it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, in real life, you know, Meech was in Atlanta and T ended up going to LA. So we know it's gonna probably end up getting so hot in Detroit, you know, it's probably gonna be dangerous that that's probably gonna push him to LA.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool to just see the story unfold.
It is. It is. And yeah, so this has been a good discussion. We're so happy to see T.
Like I said, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to discuss, because there's definitely been some stuff going down, and I was like, oh, I know they're gonna argue about this.
Yeah. And I know the audience missed you too. Look, the crown is heavy. And Lisa Vanderpump from Vanderpump, we will say, you know, when she used to be on Beverly Hills Housewives, she used to say, crown is heavy, darlings, leave it where it belongs. So it definitely belongs to you, the crown, for leading.
No, you guys have been doing an amazing job holding it down. And I gotta say that all the talent that you've been bringing on and the guest hosts, like y'all have really been, you know, crushing it and just putting out great content, great conversations every week. So, you know, I've been keeping up with y'all and just like kind of watching things go, you know, me and my little baby. But, you know, I'm so glad to be back. You know, this is home, this is family. So
yes,
you guys, and I missed all of our viewers.
Yeah, they missed you too. Yeah, they've been asking about you. So I know this is gonna be a treat for them.
Well, so we know who's going to take over in a few short years. You know, so when we get too old to do it, she'll step right in.
Pass it on. Yep.
Pass it on. Baby, yes, yep.
So our baby spotter.
Right. Yeah, yep. We gotta get her a onesie. It says baby spotter.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. You know, please like and subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so you can know whenever we drop a new video. Please follow us on our social media, IGX, Facebook, TikTok, all of the things. And we'll be back next week for episode 304.
Absolutely.
All right. See y'all next time.
Make it
Night.
easy. Hey, stand up guy on 10 toes. Big body pull up in a Range Rover. I can change the whole game when I say so. I pull up, shut it down, yeah, they know. Running this game ain't a thing for me. I never switched up, no change in me. The only thing changing this season, you go against me, then you know that you tweaking, okay? Cause baby, I'm him, I be on 10. Two-stepping in the party, I do not dance. Watch how I move, make it look easy. Counting up wins, that's part of the plan. Blackmail, taking up my haters a CC. That can't fail, all my victories will repeat. I'm knee deep, need a dub.
Meech.